Welcome to the Books, Beards, Booze podcast, where we talk books, drink booze, and have beards.
All right. This is a special bonus podcast. As always, I am Bob of Tales by Bob.
I'm Derek from Templeton, Iowa.
And I'm totally Superfan Tonya.
Totally Superfan Tonya.
Totes. Oh my god, totes.
And we have come together today to talk about a book that the three of us have all just read, Kings of the Wyld by Nicholas Eames.
It's so good.
And, correction, a book that we all just read and all love.
Yeah, I immediately pre-ordered the next one, which comes out in a couple of weeks.
I didn't pre-order it because it's an ebook.
Get your shit together, Bob!
It gets sent to you automatically.
It's an ebook. They're not going to run out of stock.
I don't care.
Did you
I
pre-order
want it right now. I did.
See, on this side of the couch, we're not done.
Oh my god.
Wow.
I will pre-order it.
It's almost like you don't care, Bob. Do you not want to support the author? Do you hate authors?
I am going to hit both of you. Jesus Christ.
It's going to be there, August 28th?
28th,
Yep,
yes.
Yeah, right
August
when I
28th.
wake up, it's going to be there. I'm not going to have to think about it.
I will pre-order it when we're done here. Jesus Christ.
You will turn this car around.
I am already regretting this. I will turn this podcast around.
Man, you need to show up more often. I'm just going to start being, obnoxious to Bob so I can throw him off of his skip.
It's the best.
Well, no, I'm not obnoxious. I'm just right.
Oh, savage. All right, so the entirety of this podcast is us. We're going to be talking about Kings of the Wyld. And to start us off, we're going to go into this assuming that you have either read the book or intend to read the book. But guess what? You should read the book because this is going to be filled with spoilers.
Yes.
Right? Filled with spoilers. But starting out, I'm going to just give a little quick overview about the book itself and the author, Nicholas Eames. All right. First off, Nicholas Eames is a huge video game buff. As you probably the cake is a lie joke.
Yeah, I saw. Yeah,
the cake is a lie joke. He actually, I read an interview where he talked about that. He's like, "Look, I knew that it was going to throw people out of the narrative as I wrote it. It's going to throw me out." He's like, "I did that so that people would know." It's like,
that's my guy.
That's my guy. He's one of us.
One of us.
He intentionally threw us out of the narrative to show that he loves what we love.
Yeah,
repping that street cred.
Right. So that was great.
As if all the D&D references weren't.
Right. I mean, that oh, God. So anyway, if you go to his About Him section on his website or his Amazon page, I skipped over some of it, but I loved this quote, and it's relevant to the podcast. Nicholas loves black coffee, neat whiskey, the month of October, and video games.
Oh, my God.
He currently lives in Ontario, Canada, and is very probably writing at this moment.
Canada.
He is Canadian. But
you could marry him in Canada.
Well, I'm just saying.
Well, you could marry him in Alabama now.
Are they? I don't.
Yeah, you can.
Let's not get into that.
The federal government made us.
But I don't think they're issuing marriage licenses.
No, they have to now. That's what
we know. People that are married.
Yeah, that's the whole Roy Moore why he got his thing. Yeah,
we digress.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, but it's Canada, man. I can't go up there.
It's nice though.
I'm about that Canada life.
You could with little pennies. I think they give you a moose when you
I do have a couple of friends up there.
When you get your citizenship.
Neither of them are moose.
Oh,
mooses?
Meese. I hate Mises.
All right, so Mises. I learned. Quick aside. I learned.
This is going off the rails real quick, and I'm not going to stop drinking. I don't think I'm going to make it to the.
Probably not.
Now.
We're a little drunk. So I learned that I can't remember what it is, but whatever the actual plural of moose is, whether it be moose or meese, it's
moose.
It's whatever it is. It's because the Greek origin of the word changes the plural as opposed to if it was a Roman plural of a word, and that's why it is what it is.
Yeah,
anyway.
I figured that would be your jam.
I love work.
He does love.
I love stuff like that.
All right. So anyway,
anywho,
moving past that. So that we've covered about him. Let's talk about the music for a second. All right. So if you are
I
unaware,
go back and just put each of those on loop while I'm reading that chapter and just listen to it.
True. Quick, going back to About Him real quick. I read it. This was very interesting. What he reads. All right. Someone asked him.
Did y'all do the audiobook?
I did.
I read it. He did the audiobook.
I need the audiobook,
and
which is going to
brand ambassador Ryan just messaged me a question. He's listening to the audiobook right now as we speak. And actually, the question that he asked me was, did Nicholas Eames just reference True Detective with Last Leaf saying time is a circle?
Yeah.
And I said, probably.
Yeah, I saw that.
Because that and True Detective is the best TV show ever. Anyway, but what he reads, here's the quote. I read all the time, almost every day. My favorite author, hands down, is Guy Gavriel Kay. And I would start with Tigana or The Lions of Al Rassan if you haven't read him before. His books are slow burns, but impossibly beautiful, and I've never read anyone near as good. Also, Scott Lynch, Pat Rothfuss, and Joe Abercrombie, in case you've been trapped under a rock and haven't read anything by each of them yet. Also, Lila Bowen's Wake of Vultures and Seth Dickerson's The Traitor Baru Cormorant are recent favorites. Also, he spells favorite the British way because he's Canadian, and I like that. I just got done with Tigana.
You're a traitor.
I just got done with Tigana.
Get out of my country.
Audiobook. It was beautiful. It was absolutely beautiful. I have the lines of all
poetic writing, or is it?
I'm going to say weirdly, the closest thing I can attribute it to is a more poetic J.R.R. Tolkien in the way that he does things. It's kind of hard to describe. I do have the Lines of Al Rassan ebook. It was on sale on Amazon.
They have it on Audible.
Yeah, I'm sure. Oh, Tigana's on Audible. I got Tigana.
I'll pick that up this week.
Tigana's good. You should get on Audible. Anyway, but I've read Scott Lynch. I've read Pat Rothfuss. I've read Joe Abercrombie. They are all good. I would put them in the order of Pat Rothfuss, Scott Lynch, Joe Abercrombie. Which
is weird because Abercrombie's your oeuvre.
I rated his books on Goodreads, and I rated all of them 4s. But whereas the Rothfuss and the Lynch, I rated 5s.
5s,
yeah. But I have also read The Traitor Baru Cormorant, and it's really good. I have not read Wake of Vultures, so I'm going to have to check that out because everything else he's recommended has been spot on. So anyway, talking about the music. Mm-hmm. So you might not be aware of this, Superfan Tonya, but if you go to his website right now, he has a chapter by chapter playlist.
Okay, so you mentioned music, and I was real lost. That's why I was like, did you do the audiobook, and I was the only ding-dong who read it? No. Okay, all right.
Although
he has a song for every chapter. It's like, this song
goes with Kashmir.
Goes like the Maxathon. When they go to the Maxathon, the first chapter of that, the theme song for it is Kashmir by Led Zeppelin.
Nice.
He's like, these are the songs that go with it or made me think
of it. And like, if you read the list, if you read the list,
all classical rock except for one.
The classic rock makes so much sense with the whole vibe.
One chapter has One Winged Angel from Advent Children. So I'm like, that's how I knew he was my people.
But so also he has them in there. It's like he put like most of them are like, it's a suggestion. Like, here's what I was listening to. But like some of them is like has a star by it. It's like, this is the fucking song. Like the Kashmir, when they go to the Maxathon, it has a star by it. Like, this is the fucking song that I listened to on loop while I wrote this chapter.
Nice.
It's a really good song for that.
Yeah, and it's a great playlist.
Oh, yeah, no, I get that. I get that song for sure.
You know, if someone hasn't made that as a playlist on like Spotify or Amazon Music, they need to.
I actually was like, I kind of want to, because I mentioned I kind of want to buy this book for my dad.
Yeah.
And give it to him.
Yeah.
And I just want to send him the playlist first and be like.
So here's what excites me.
Yeah.
Asked about the music for book 2.
Uh-oh.
All right?
Oh, shit.
So here's what he said. Whereas my writing soundtrack for book 1 consisted largely of 60s folk and 70s rock, book 2 draws influence from 80s punk, rock, and pop.
Yes.
So goodbye Floyd, Zeppelin, and Dylan. I'll miss you, truly.
Misfits?
And hello, Queen, Van Halen, and Pat Benatar.
Nice.
I'm okay with all of those.
Yeah. It turns out, from what I read, like, the music of the first book, that's not his go-to genre. Like, he learned to love it while writing it, but, like, that's not what he was about. He got into it because, like, of the... like, but that was not what he...
That's cool.
So, like, did he go into writing this book in the idea of, I'm going to make it like these, like, a mercenary band, as in a
Band.
Well, that was
Band.
Yes,
that's the premise.
That
Well, I
part
thought
he
so,
did.
but-
Yeah, he went.
Is that
into
why
it.
he went and listened to that kind of stuff? While he was writing
I think so. I think so. He didn't spell that out, but he wrote this book to be mercenary bands treated as bands.
I love it.
Yeah.
So here's something that I didn't pick up on that I thought was fascinating. The rot. Okay?
It's like the plague.
He uses the rot as a reference to STDs
Yeah.
that killed, like, all right,
Band members.
Who
syphilis.
is Moog's husband?
No!
Yeah,
Freddie Mercury was killed by the rot. It's AIDS.
What?
It's basically STDs that took down band members.
I didn't.
Yeah, I did not pick that up either.
I didn't either.
I did not make the connection with Freddie until I read that. I was like, holy shit, Freddie Mercury.
What?
Because Freddie Mercury died of AIDS.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's real cool.
That was fucking awesome.
I like the Easter eggs like that. Like we were talking about what was it, Neil the Young?
Neil the
Yeah,
Young.
I got the Neil Young reference. I was
so,
like, what?
So
That's great.
I have a quote on
I
that.
love that chapter.
I have a
Yeah,
quote
it's
on
good.
that. It's like, so the interviewer asked him, how many band names were inspired by real bands?
Mm-hmm.
He said, most of them were inspired by songs, since using direct band names outside of a few exceptions like Neil the Young is a little on the nose.
Yeah.
Some cool, in my opinion, examples are the Wheat Kings, which is a tragically hip song, and Courtney and the Sparks, which is named for a Joni Mitchell album, The Court and the Spark.
Huh.
A lot of people think Saga is a reference to the Canadian band of the same name. In fact, it was the name of a sword that belonged to the main character in an unpublished book that I worked on for almost a decade. Saga is an homage to that.
Nice.
That's pretty cool.
So this book is the first book that he's had published.
Right.
But he spent a decade trying to write a book before this. His intention is to turn this into a trilogy. This will be a trilogy. Mm-hmm. The second book comes out, as we said, August 28th.
August 28th.
So excited.
And
Right?
there is a third book going to come. But then after that, from what I read, he might not write in this. Like he said he's got some other ideas churning.
That's
he's not
cool.
sure what he's going to.
As we go further into our discussion of the book, I will mention things that I hope he brings with him to his other works.
Oh, yeah, cool. All right, so that's the background. All right, so we've got the background kind of covered now.
Yeah.
So about the book itself. First off, how badass is that cover?
It's really fucking
It was
good
super.
cover.
It was super nice. I like fonts. Like the picture on a book can be nice, but if the font is trash,
Yeah.
like I'm.
Oh yeah, no.
I'm gonna just move on.
Font snob.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
a
fair,
little bit.
though. No, that's
Everybody's
fair.
got their
That's
thing.
fine. Yeah.
Judge books by their covers.
I do. I buy books
I do
because of their
hardcore.
cover.
I used
I
to,
do hardcore.
Yeah,
I still do.
Yeah, so it was a good cover. Like it all just.
He said that his inspiration for that was he wanted a picture that would look like those staged band pictures from like the 70s and 80s where it's like the band is trying to look casual but it's very much staged kind of deal.
I like the art style too.
Yeah,
a lot.
the artist is Richard Anderson.
Yeah.
And if you go, I took Derek there. If you go to his website, there's a ton of great art on there that like people have done of the different characters.
Larkspur.
Larkspur. And apparently, if you ordered the hardback book from the publisher, you got a bunch of postcards, and each postcard was one up like a hand drawn picture of all the major characters.
Oh, that's rad.
Yeah, and they looked great.
There's a lot of Larkspur, a lot of Ganelon.
There was a really cool picture of Clay fighting the Wraiths.
Yeah.
The
rats. With the hammer.
With the hammer. It's like him with
Which
Blackheart.
thing we'll discuss later.
Yeah, it's great. So, have y'all seen the map?
I don't look at any of that
I don't
stuff.
think so.
Okay. I know Derek's a map guy.
Yeah.
I don't look at.
You did the audiobook.
I just want the story.
All right.
That's it. Like I
So,
don't care. Look at what
the map
after.
is done up in that old school Tolkien Lord of the Rings style, and it's amazing.
Nice.
You can see it on the website. Just go to the website and look it up. It is absolutely amazing. It's super Tolkien-esque. I forget who did it, but it's fucking fantastic. So yeah, before we dive into it, the last thing I want to touch on before we really dive into like questions is the band positions, and this is something that you might pick up on, you might not. I know we've all talked about it at some point, but every member in Saga is based on a position in a band.
Like musical position.
Yeah. So Gabrielle is the vocalist / guitarist.
The lead guy.
Yeah. Well, he's not really the. He's not really the.
He's not the
face,
leader.
But he's not the leader. He's the face.
He's not the leader.
He's the face.
Yeah, you're right.
Ganelon is lead guitar. He wields an axe.
Yeah.
Big axe. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So Clay, the quote unquote forgettable one,
Yeah.
is the bass player. All right. Matrick, skull drummer, is the drummer.
Yeah.
And Moog, for those who don't know, Moog is a type of synthesizer.
Yes, that was the one that threw me. I didn't know
Moog is the keyboard / triangle / cowbell guy. So
the pizzazz guy.
yeah. So
he's the Bob of the group.
Yeah, fair.
Oh, am I really going to be that guy?
Yeah. Oh, you the guy that's got the phone going off their podcast? God, no, you're fine.
Such
you're
a
fine.
fucking noob.
God, tighten the fuck up. Superfan
Bob
Tonya,
just wanted
super
to
trash Tonya. God.
He just wanted to say that to you because I've just been saying it to him nonstop the past couple of days. Because he normally says it to me, and I've just been every time tighten up.
Tighten up.
Yeah.
I do. I tell him to sign up a lot.
And normally my phone's on silent.
All right.
At least with Super Mario. It's cool.
Yeah. All right. So who is your favorite character?
Moog.
Moog?
Moog, easily.
Slow hand.
Oh, but I also really like Maddie.
I like all of them. I mean,
But I think
I ended up going with Clay was my favorite character. Moog. So you listened to the audiobook. I saw this complaint. In prepping for this, I did a lot of like going around cruising the internet, seeing what other people had to say, trying to come up with some questions, make this not a 5-minute podcast.
Right.
There were some complaints that Moog's voice was very like stereotypically homosexual.
No.
In the audiobook.
I disagree.
Okay. That was a complaint. And Nicholas Eames actually came out and said, like, look, like I didn't know that the reader was going to read it that way. That wasn't quite my he's like, that was not my intention. I did not want Moog to. And other people were like, oh well, of course the gay guy is the fucknutter of the group. And like he's like, no, like I didn't make him the goofy guy of the group because he was the homosexual.
He's the keyboardist.
He's the wizard. Like it was more like he's the goofy
guy.
wizard. Like so, it's one of those deals. Like I am sympathetic to the portrayal. Like some people do. Like I see the negative portrayals. I honest to God don't think this. Like everything I've read from Nicholas Eames,
they're just wrong.
They're being too sensitive. I think I'm not in their shoes, but it's. Everything I've read about or read of him, like Nicholas Eames seems like a great dude.
The voice that the guy did from the in the audiobook, you know, what is it, Professor Brothers?
Yeah.
That you like so much? You know, the kind of like squeaky voiced one?
Yeah.
It kind of comes off like that, but a little not quite as squeaky.
Okay.
Is how Moog kind of presents.
Okay. Well,
so I was like, that's not gay. It's just like he seems like a smaller, older, kind of kooky dude.
Yeah,
I guess
and I think that's what I think. I think what it was is like, and I completely understand. Like, there is a lot of representation of homosexual culture that is stereotypically negative. I don't think that was the case here. I think it was more stereotypical wizard quirkiness. You know, and that's kind of where I have not listened to it, but I've seen Nicholas Eames talk about it himself, like where he's like, "Well, look, I'm sorry, that was not the intent. I do wish he had done a slightly different voice for it, but
it was good.
It was like my intent was never to offend." Kind of thing.
Can I go ahead and go into how I liked it? How I liked the voice?
Yeah.
So
I think my understanding is the audiobook was a little quirky at first. Like it had some audio and then quality issues at first.
Got past it
because Superfan or not. You're Superfan.
I'm Superfan Tonya.
Brand
Ambassador Ryan, who's listened to it, he also, but he said it was weird. He had audio issues, but only when he was listening via Bluetooth, I think. Mm-hmm. If he listened any other way, it was fine. But via Bluetooth, it had some problems that he'd never encountered in audiobooks before. So there are a few quirks, but if you'll stick with it, and they're not...
It was like in the first 2 chapters.
Yeah, and they're not bad to the point where it's unlistenable. They're just...
close.
If you've listened to this podcast, it's better than that.
Yeah. So I think that listening to this, could be wrong, is better than reading it. And here's why.
No, I honestly don't think, like, no, I'm with you on that. I think it's good read.
I think I want to read it again because there's I'm a big words guy, and there's a lot of description and the way the words work that I was like, oh my god! Like the first paragraph, I was like, oh, I'm gonna love this. This is so good.
Yeah.
But
he in fact messaged me that like
literally a paragraph.
If this first paragraph is any sort of indication of the rest of this book, I'm going to fucking love it.
Yeah, and
it was real good.
But here's why I say that is because when the guy's reading it, the voices he does, he sounds like an old guitar, like an old band guy.
Yeah.
So like he's reading it, and anytime they drop F-bombs, it sounds so good.
Nice.
Like no shit. Like it's the argument about the pond.
Oh god!
You mean the pool?
The pool. I loved that.
What are you doing that?
Yeah.
And when he fucking kicks the guy off the fucking off the airship.
Yeah.
And oh god!
But like when how frustrated the guy Calric got.
Yeah.
And it's just like it's a fucking pool, not a fucking like just the way it's all gravelly.
Yeah.
It really sells it. It is so
okay.
good.
I may have to spend an Audible credit on that.
You might want to. It's really fucking good.
Should have got it when they had their sale.
That's what I did.
Because it was in the Audible sale.
Yeah,
for like
I should
$7 or
have.
$8.
But I had just read it. I had just read it.
Anyways.
Wait for Black Friday.
Yeah. Okay. What was your favorite scene in the book?
Oh.
Derek?
My favorite scene was probably when all the Merc bands were coming through the
That
portal.
was good.
Yeah,
that was a real
super
good.
cool. Yeah.
It was either no. It was either that or when they pulled back and did the third person omniscient, and it was just here comes the blah blah blah. Like when they were storming Caloric's place to get all the equipment.
Yeah. I noticed the difference in tone. I was like, wait, what?
Yeah, instead of being third person limited, it pulled back to third person omniscient and was like a person watching the scene, and it was just describing how awesome they were until Moog tripped. Either one of those, and I would take either one as my favorite, but
that's fair.
They were my favorites for entirely different reasons. But
Superfan, what you got?
When Maddie found out that Moog had the prod, and he was like super distraught.
That like
super distraught.
To me, that's the best part of this book. It is a funny book, and I have read a lot, especially
normally
recently.
I don't like the funny
I've read a lot of funny
really
fantasy lately. Like I've read a good bit of Terry Pratchett, but here lately I've read the Jeffrey Russell Dungeoneer series and the Patrick Weeks Palace something another series. I forget what it's called, but I've read a bunch of funny fantasy. This is funny, but has heart in equal measure, and neither one of them bludgeons you over the head. You know, they're perfectly balanced. It's funny without being ridiculous. I mean, at times it is a little ridiculous, but without being consistently ridiculous. At the same time, it has heart without going for the cheap.
I want to take it back. Neither one of those were my favorite. It was high up there, but my actual favorite was, and we had a conversation about this, Ganelon's conversation with Clay.
Oh God,
broke my heart when
he's talking about like
I always knew I was bad, but when I was so bad that Clay gave up on me, I was just like, no, and he was like, never again, and I was like, that is oh my God, that tore me apart.
So
I want to change my favorite character.
Yeah,
Kit.
Kit?
He was awesome.
He was good.
Cool. Okay, they're all great.
Yeah. In that same vein of like...
No, it's still Moog.
So, talking about
them
like
together when they're hanging out.
The heart and the humor, to me, the thing that best encapsulates that is Gregor and Dane.
Yeah.
The Etten.
Poor
like the blind Etten head and the not blind.
That was so sweet.
That was amazing, but also funny. Like it was funny to read a lot of the times, but then it was also like just so good and just heartwarming.
And when they fell,
oh yeah, it was sad. It was sad when they died. My favorite scene. This is a weird cop out. Was all the scenes it didn't show. The prime one being
the destruction of
the what was it, the Roadhouse? It wasn't called the Roadhouse, but
I know what you're talking about.
Or
like burnt down and stuff like that.
And it's like how it happens several times in the book where it'll be like, I'm going to cut over this
like when it cut over the owlbear fight.
Yes. Yeah. And it's like because at the end of the day is like whatever he could have wrote probably couldn't live up to our imagination. Yeah. And so just But to me, the best one was like when Ganelon sets his drink down, and because that's the first time it really happens. Like Ganelon sets his drink down.
It's like there are a lot of stories about how the blah blah blah.
The night the Roadhouse burned down.
Yeah.
And that was the moment I walked across to your office and was like, dude, this book is fucking because
that was before I decided to read it, and he told me about that, and I think he had mentioned the book.
I mentioned the concept. I kind of mentioned like it's about like this,
and then you came over and told me that. I was like, okay, well, I'm in. Let's just.
And then like I come back and like, dude, like there's this one scene. Here's what happens, and then I think I read him like the next paragraph, and he's like, dude, I'm in.
I'm so in.
I'm fucking in.
It was so good.
Yeah.
Also, the fucking at the end, I really liked when Clay's going home at the very end, and they tell him that his daughter killed something. And he was like, and now that boy's hanging around. And he's like,
oh, he thinks it's hard.
Yeah, he
thinks it's hard.
And the best part is, I don't know if you noticed it, but when he was talking to his wife, and she was like, "You will not put a sword in her." He's like, "No axe, no bow, named everything but a shield."
Pointy stick.
Everything but a shield.
I didn't notice that.
Yeah, everything he named but a shield.
Oh,
nice.
So I was like, yes,
nice.
Right. I really like the reference of stick 'em with a pointy end.
Yeah, me too.
Which that little Game of Thrones reference.
Yeah,
was nice.
Bob don't know nothing about that.
Bob don't know nothing about that.
I don't know about that. So that kind of transitions nicely into talking about book 2. Bloody Rose.
I'm excited.
I want to know about this.
I opted not to read the preview chapter that came at the end of Kings of the Wyld.
I did the same. To be fair,
there was one.
With Audible, there probably was.
In the Kindle, there was a preview chapter. I never read the preview chapters of anything, but that's
cool. All right, so I opted not to do that
because
it's
like
surprised.
It's one of those deals. Like if I have to wait fucking 2 years to fuck that.
Well, and like I finished this and it was so close. Well, I mean, hell, I can wait a month.
Did you at least read the synopsis?
I have read the synopsis
of what the next book is or anything like that.
I didn't.
Do you want?
I want to be surprised, but you can tell me.
Yeah, we're going to talk about it.
Because here's why I'm super excited. When I read the synopsis, I was super upset because what's the name of it? Bloody Rose.
Bloody Roses. I thought it was Rose.
It's Bloody Rose
because that's her nickname.
Okay,
but I'm like, hell yeah! But then I started reading.
Is it Rose?
It's Gabriel's daughter.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Cool. It was what I thought too. But then I started reading. I thought she was going to be the main character.
No,
she's not the main character.
What?
The main character is a bard
that
who
goes
joins
along with them.
Oh, that's interesting.
But see, but see, I started reading it, and it was like this female character who's like a barmaid or something like that. And I was like, oh no, that's not going to be fun. And then it turns out that she joins the band as a bard.
Okay.
Like, oh no, I'm way okay with that.
Yeah.
Because then you get that Croaker experience where you're you're not really the one in the thick of it.
Yeah.
But you're watching all the cool shit. And what's the the Druin, the guy that
Last Leaf? Oh, the one I don't remember the one that she was dating.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I don't remember his name.
Free
Cloud.
Free
Yes.
Cloud.
really curious about him.
Hey, Tony remembered a name.
Yeah. I knew it was something Cloud, but I couldn't remember what it was. But I'm really like if you go to the website that Bob was talking about and look at the art,
there's
the art
of him.
for Free Cloud and for Rose, oh my god.
Yeah, it's a guy by Felix Cortez, I think is the artist.
There's a couple of different ones that are just
I'm
so excited.
Yeah. No, so like I said, it says in the book that was the last time that all 5 of Saga were ever together. And Nicholas Eames has made it clear that you're not going to see all of them back. Mm-hmm. But you will see some of them.
That's because Ganelon went and got rebasilisked or whatever.
He did. But
that was so sad.
It was sad. But I think Ganelon will be back in book 2.
I know.
I think he will. Because he'll
be back in book 3.
Maybe.
Because
I think he'll be back in book 2. Do
you think his like Valkyrie baby is going to come back?
I think his Valkyrie, like, it depends on how far in the future it takes place, but I think the Valkyrie baby might actually end up being some sort of, probably Valkyrie baby will be in book 3 is my guess.
Maybe.
Well, see, here's the thing, because
book 3.
What this might be jumping ahead a little bit. What do you think he meant when he went in there and told?
He's waiting for Larkspur to come get him.
I don't think that's what he was saying.
What do you think he was saying?
I think he's saying because how what's the Druid guy? Last Leaf. He killed himself with that sword. That's going to bring his mom back.
You're right.
So he's saying, "Wake
me when she gets here." I was thinking it was
Larkspur coming to get him.
Me too.
I think it's he's like, "Wake me up when you need me," which is going to be when that.
Oh.
Which was I was like, "Oh fuck!"
Because then he's not getting old and shit. He's just going to be in his prime. That does seem like
a good.
Ooh, that's going to be a good book 3.
That seems like a good book 3.
That's what I think. I think book 2 is
going
to end
I
with
did
her
not pick up
coming
on
back.
that. Wow.
And then book 3 is going to be about the fight against her.
Because leading up to this, because I read it way before the rest of y'all, but like a bit before that. So I went back today while I was doing my Tiny Free Library and like kind of reread a couple passages.
I could be wrong. It could be the larger thing, but I think
I like your theory.
I reread the bit where it like Clay saying, "Oh, Lastly, what have you done?"
Yeah.
With the sword.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Now, I mean, I know I picked up on the fact that he stabbed himself through the heart and that mom would be resurrected, but I didn't translate that into why
he was.
Well, I think it'll take her time to assemble some power. So that's a book 3 kind of thing.
Yeah. See, that's why I said I think he'll be back in 3, not 2.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm thinking.
I think we'll see Moog in 2. I just have this vibe that they're going to go hit up.
We'll probably see Gabe, right?
Well, obviously we'll see Gabe. Yeah. Well, I have no doubt we'll see Gabe. I don't think we'll see Clay.
No.
Unless they just pass through.
They pass through his end. If they go through his end.
Would be great.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, his end.
I would love it if they pass through his end.
I love happy endings.
Yeah.
I want his daughter to be like...
I think that's a book 3 thing.
I know. I mean,
I feel like his daughter with Ganelon's daughter...
sneaks out.
In a book 3...
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Oh, maybe if that's what book 3 is, that'd
maybe
be cool.
a Bloody Rose's daughter? Or son? Bloody Rose's kid? They're old enough. It'd be a half Druid, half
Could be
Bloody
her
Rose.
a little bit older, plus maybe a Free Cloud still alive if he doesn't die in the second one, which would suck. He's got to live, right?
I'm hoping we see Kit. I would like it if Kit was kind of the guy who tied everything together.
Because my concern is, like, what if... Like, I hope I like Free Cloud, but, like, what if... he's the last of his kind, except for the one that gets brought, for the one that is brought back from. Yeah, and then it's like that's book 3 is like leading up to a contest between them.
I think it's, and I don't know if we'll see Maddie or not. It basically depends on what side of the Heartwyld the book takes place.
He's a king now.
Yeah, he's a king, but he's on the other side. Like I feel like we will probably either see Maddie, or we will see Moog, possibly Clay, and. Regardless, we'll see Gabriel.
What all did Moog do? Also, it's Gabriel. But anyways,
when Moog cured the rot.
I know he cured the rot, and he gave it away for free.
And he's just sitting in his tower.
Oh, no, that's right. He went back to his tower.
Tower,
I couldn't
rebuilt
remember where
it,
he lived.
And made a drinkable cure for the rot.
I want to see the owlbears.
The baby owlbears all grown
up.
I want him to have a chariot pulled by owlbears.
We were talking about this while I had just started, and Bob had already read it. It wasn't giving me anything. I was like, if they don't fucking find owlbears in this book, I'm gonna be so mad.
What if he makes a potion so that he can talk to the owlbears and they can talk back to him, or like a helmet or some shit?
Dr. Doolittle.
I like the idea of him not doing that and then just thinking he can.
I can fuck with that too.
Like coming up with, or like teaching him like chimps, like sign language.
Well, I'm reading Aeronaut's Windless, where there's talking cat now.
Cat,
so I'm thinking about talking
She
out
snapped
there.
me earlier. It's like, I love how the cat keeps calling him Little Mouse.
Isn't it amazing?
It's so good.
That was I love that.
That audiobook is impeccable.
Yeah.
It's the best audiobook I've listened to.
Yeah, performance is real good.
That I've listened to. I haven't listened to as many as you, but it's definitely the best I've listened to.
It's up there. It's real good. I like it a lot. But anyways.
So...
Bloody
Rose. Do you have any? We've already talked about who we think we'll see. Do you have any other sort of expectations, predictions, what you'd like to see more of, anything like that?
Well, I'm really interested in Bloody Rose to see how he writes a female character as being the person you follow.
You know what I want to talk about the female character. Yeah. I want to see more Jane.
Wasn't she cool?
Oh, she was so cool. I love that. Like it was one of those deals you want to hate her for keep robbing the heroes, but at the same time you just I loved her.
She's super cool about it.
Every time she robbed them, she was so cool about it.
So
I loved that.
I got my friend from Ohio, Chris, to buy the audiobook, And I sent a quote of it to, I think, Rachel. I don't think I sent it to him. I think I sent it to her. But the quote that I sent was, "Those girls are so nice. They even made us breakfast." And then Clay going, and I said the only thing that seemed obvious, "They fucking robbed us."
Oh God!
Yeah.
The thing I love most about Clay, I think, was how every time he'd be like, "Well, it's really complicated to explain," and then someone would be like,
"Say it in like a sentence or two."
It's like, well, I guess it wasn't that complicated.
Yeah.
I love Clay because he's like he's like the fusion of Perrin and Lan.
Yeah.
Which are basically my two favorite Wheel of Time characters. He's real slow and deliberate, protective, hard as rocks.
Yeah.
And he fights with a shield, which is awesome.
Yeah.
So,
No.
I've always had I'm a Captain America fan because he fights with a shield.
I will be very interested to see how Nicholas Eames writes from a female perspective.
And the main character in it is a female. And she's going to be watching a female, so that should be cool.
Yeah.
So it's just, I know that like for a lot of male writers, they fuck that up a lot. And so I'm interested. Well, I mean, it would be, I guess it's easier for a female to write from a male perspective because you have so many
opportunities.
Examples.
Well, you have so many examples of it, right? So I am curious and interested to see how he does that.
And here I thought it'd be easier for a guy to get inside of a woman.
Drink more.
I do need to go drink more. I've got a pretty good buzz going.
Wow.
Wow. Any other expectations, predictions?
I'm really hyped that it's kind of 80s-ish type music. I'm really hyped about that.
Yeah, I'm going to be curious to see the playlist for this one. And this time,
the third book's going to be 90s rap.
I am going to
gangster rap. Oh, I can fuck with that.
Man,
all
like
day.
Some fucking old school Dre,
just hardcore,
fucking
just fucking
Tupac,
hard people
Biggie.
rolling. Yeah,
oh man,
great.
I can
fuck with that.
But no,
I
plan
90s
to read
boy
it.
bands.
No.
Book 3 is
that's two sideways, but it'd be like 90s.
But no,
90s hair metal. It'd be like
stop.
Metallica and Megadeth and
East Coast, West Coast.
Oh shit.
90s rap with the whole.
That's what's up.
Yes.
Then maybe she does show up in book 2. Maybe book 2 is the mom.
Yeah.
And then book 3 is a war between the Empire.
Two sides, East Coast, West Coast. Oh man, that could be badass.
That would be.
Yeah.
We just wrote that for him. There you go.
Nicholas Eames.
You're welcome.
No big deal, Hit us with that royalty check,
or just listen to this,
or please just listen to this.
Yeah.
But no,
not above pandering.
Oh yeah, we will. I will pander in a heartbeat.
I'll pander for things I like.
Yeah.
Pander.
So, I do fully intend next book. I am going to listen and read simultaneously. So
had I known that the playlist was a thing with this, I probably would have done that.
Yeah.
I don't do research into my books like y'all do.
Well, no, I don't typically. I found out about that because of Reddit.
Gotcha.
And that's how I found out about Kings of the Wild.
Well, I'm banned from Reddit, so.
Right? Yeah, she's never done a post on Reddit, but
I've
banned.
never posted on Reddit, but my account is permanently banned. Permanently banned.
Yeah.
Because that's a conversation.
She has no idea.
I don't know what I did.
She logged into Reddit to check some stuff out. I was like, I'm banned, but has never posted. So
it's because you're a Russian bot. Moving on.
My name is Tonya. She's Russian.
Oh, okay. So what's the next question? When it comes to
predictions, that's kind of the last question. That's something I want to add at the end. But
okay. Oh, that's it.
Well, I mean, we're at 38 minutes right now.
We haven't talked about the book.
No, I mean, we can talk about whatever. We can talk about whatever.
Okay, well,
I'm just
first
saying,
of all, I think
question-wise,
the book's good. But now let's talk about things. Here's one of the things that I hope that he carries with him with other books, if he moves away from this world.
Yeah.
I really like the idea of magical items, right? So the items that he has all have really interesting names and backstories and are really... those are some of the most interesting
that
items.
Fucking staff that just beat the shit out of everybody and turned around and started beating on moves.
Yeah.
That was great.
The fucking sword that Gabe had that is like a
you
mirror
can see
to the world.
that was
what the fuck is that?
So here's
of all the shit I've read and all the things that I've done, Bob, you know the crazy shit we read on the place that we learned to write.
Yeah.
I've never seen anything like that.
Well, here's the thing.
Sword be the gateway.
Here's the thing. To me, it seems very clear that this is very heavily D&D based. I've never seen an Etten in fucking anything that I've read. I've never seen a what was the fucking Ettercap?
Yeah.
I've never seen an Ettercap outside of
Ettercap
and Etten. I've never seen those. I've never read those in anything but this. It reads very... Alright, so here's the thing. I hate any book or comic that reads like D&D. I just do.
Can't do it.
I cannot stand it.
I would love to read Dragonlance.
There's a whole subgenre of fantasy called lit RPG.
Yeah, can't do
that is... It is fantasy that is written like video games, basically.
Mm-hmm.
I've never read a straight up lit RPG book. I just picked up one highly regarded one. I'm going to give it a try, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to hate it. So I'm not going to throw the name out there because it's not for me. I hate anything that reads like D&D. This reads like D&D, but I don't hate it because it's not.
Which is a big thing.
It is.
It's the same for me.
It's such a hard line. Like it's basically like this is a good book that just happened to pick a couple monsters from the monster manual, like Ettercap and Etten. You know, like it's such a fine line, but Eames nails it. You know, like he nails it just straight up. And I've never seen anyone else do it to this degree, this perfectly. If everyone else did it like this, I would probably be reading Forgotten Realms novels right now.
But they don't.
Mm-hmm. Also, do y'all hear that thunder and lightning? We're going to die. If we die, you won't hear this because I won't be there to upload it.
Yeah, that's true.
But hopefully we won't.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Clay has that magical suit of armor, impenetrable armor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He gets knocked off the cold road.
He does.
He still should have died.
No, he's bad.
How do you not? That boy don't wear no helmet.
I know, that was part of the joke.
How is his skull not broken to a million melon pieces?
That's the only thing he didn't hit. And
he
only hit it once.
Even then, his body still should have been pulverized where he was gelatinous on the inside and dead.
Tonya, drink this. And stop talking.
Also...
I'm just saying, he should have been
dead. Also, I'll explain this to you. Here's why. Because this is based on hardcore band people. Think of all the drugs they did that should have killed them.
Yeah.
And somehow did not.
If Steve Tyler's still alive? Yes, he is.
Yeah.
You think he could? You think Steve Tyler couldn't fall down a cliff and live? I guarantee Steve Tyler could fall down a cliff and live.
He'd float.
Probably.
He'd just throw his hands out and be like, "Woo, let's go, baby."
Yeah. If Ozzy Osbourne could step off a tour bus and snort a line of fire ants, Clay Slowhand Cooper can fall off a cliff.
In a fantasy world.
In a fantasy world with a full suit of magical armor, yes, he can do it.
I mean, he still did get fucked up. But
he did.
Even so.
He lost his hand.
Don't get me wrong. And
look, I will say this. All right.
That's what I was salty about.
Like
I love that.
We have hardcore sucked this book's dick.
Least favorite character?
Gabriel.
Oh, really?
I understand why he was the way he was the entire time.
But you just didn't enjoy it.
But it was not even nobody, and the fact that I hated him before then because he keeps talking about the things that he did in the past. Fuck, I don't care how bad things there are. You don't sell that sword.
This is going to be another weird pick. What was the Booker's name? Kale or something.
It was Calorak.
But you're supposed to hate him. And I did hate him, so that's not fair. We'll say Maddie. I felt like Maddie was underutilized in the book. He was the last one assembled, pretty much.
Other than Ganelon.
They did get Ganelon after, didn't
I was frustrated at Maddie. I didn't hate him. I was frustrated
I didn't hate him, but I felt
but
like
I liked him because he was a good dad.
Yeah, he was. No,
wasn't it great that all the kids decided to fuck you, mom, I'm going to go live with the guy who's not actually my dad?
They're at the table, and she's being a bitch, and he's like, make sure your brother, no, you eat that. And
I love that. I felt he was underutilized.
Yeah.
So here is my only real complaint about the book. Everyone lived. And it's one of those in that you don't know that everyone's going to live. But talking about the whole Clay falling off the cliff, he loses his hand but he gets it back. You know, it was I would rather have seen him lose the hand and the hand stay lost, basically.
Yeah.
Most of their negative repercussions get undone. That said, it was kind of countered by the fact that there was
all their friends died.
Well, yeah, a lot of friends had died, but they mostly, for the most part, they were introduced and then killed. Yeah. But but I will say this: that was countered to a degree by they spent the whole book old, except for Ganelon. They spent the book old, and that did have an effect. They were clearly not as effective as they once would have been.
I think both probably my favorite and my least favorite part about the book was how they beat Last Leaf. Was just the fact that he just happened to throw that little fucking Minotaur into him.
I really enjoyed the Minotaur scene was just so funny to me.
Yeah, how the Minotaur just kept coming.
Stay dead? Fuck.
I loved it because that's what brought it back to me. Is like everyone lived, but that's random.
Yeah.
So it very well could have not been the case.
But it also, that's just weird shit. Everyone around you dies, and you're like, wait.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
And then he just happened to kill the big bad by just throwing a dude over his shoulder so he didn't get gored.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was like, oh shit, he just happened to hit him.
Yeah. It's one of those deals like...
Which is how that shit would probably go.
My only complaint is that the risks, to a degree, quite weren't there, in that every problem they had ended up being fully restored. Like, they were never worse off for it. They always, they got robbed, but then they, a chapter 2 later, they were back up and running. And then they get robbed again, but chapter 2 later, they're back up and running. They never really suffered lasting repercussions, even losing a hand, gets the hand back.
Even faking your own death and not being quiet about it, and it's no big deal, and he just runs around telling everybody, I'm the king. I was like, they literally just snuck you out and threw you over a cliff.
What cancels that out, and the reason why I love this book to death, is while the risks, perhaps that risk-reward kind of element maybe quite wasn't there, the heart in this book makes up for it so much. It just carries this book. It's a funny book. If there were no heartstring moments, I would have liked this book. I would have laughed at this book. But just the emotional tugging on my heartstrings at weird moments that you didn't. I did not expect that. And let's be real. The premise of this book is kind of dumb. It's ridiculous. It's like, imagine if mercenary bands were treated like 80s hair metal bands.
So you told me that, and I thought this was another Grunts.
And it's kind of a ridiculous premise, but it's executed so perfectly. And just the heart in this book, whatever critiques you can have, I feel like the heart and the humor carries this book over any hurdle that it has.
Here's why I don't much... The risk-reward thing that you're talking about didn't bother me. And it really didn't, at all. And the reason is because the entire book, I knew they were going to die. They were like, yeah, we're fucked. We're not... There's literally no way we win.
That is fair.
So we're just going to die. But we're going to go die in the way that we should.
Blaze of glory.
Because we're not going to just leave Gabriel's daughter.
That is fair. Yeah. That also speaks to a difference between me and you that kind of harkens back more to our comic book tastes and why you like more superhero stuff than I do. That's kind of a general, just I think a demeanor kind of thing. It's why I think I picked up on it more than you did, and that's not a pro or con or a negative or anything like that.
It's that I don't.
It doesn't bother you, but it's something that bothered me, and that's not a value judgment or anything. That's just what comes down to particular taste, what someone.
Yeah, it was like they're all going to die anyways, so I don't care if they managed to give him a hand back or anything.
Yeah,
that was the only thing that bothered me, was him getting his hand back.
My least favorite character, seems how I asked the question.
Drink more whiskey, you won't notice that.
My least favorite character was Bug Guy.
Oh, how dare you!
Oh, I will say this:
he just seems so out of place.
No, I actually liked him. I liked his personality. I thought it fit. I just don't like spiders. Take a shot. I don't like spiders at all. His character.
See, I imagined it more like a cockroach.
His character creeped me out. I thought it was a spider, but
I don't know.
Because it was an arachnian or something like that.
Yeah. I don't care. I still thought about him as a cockroach, which...
Because least
favorite character. He's a giant fucking cockroach guy. Well, I guess he was a spooter. He had all the arms. Yeah. And they made references to... I could put all my arms on your...
He was a really good bartender. And that's something we appreciate around here.
Well, termites are really good bartenders. Wait, they walk in and ask if the bar is tender. Just fuck that up.
Get the fuck out.
I just want to put you in a headlock right now. What the fuck?
You know that joke?
Yes, no, we know that joke. We just hate you.
I didn't know that joke, actually.
Oh, a termite walks into a bar and says, hey, where's the bartender?
You don't have to repeat it. You don't have to repeat it. I get it now, but I didn't know it beforehand.
Oh. God. This piece of shit here.
Yeah. It's my bad.
God,
that was the worst joke
right now. All right.
Don't lie. You know you love that joke.
Way to put a combo breaker on that.
So So we're gonna wrap up with this. We're getting near our time limit.
I have so much more to say.
I know.
Well, okay, no. Final statements, Derek. Go. Give us the final
All the items were awesome. I hate that he didn't use the hammer more, Wraith, because that was an amazing magical item.
But maybe his daughter will carry that.
Well, he'll have to find it in the fucking gorge, though, because his hand got cut off and he lost it. All the different magical swords that Last Leaf was using was amazing. True. The fight with the Chimera was amazing. The fact that the fucking their buddies saved them from the airship, that was fun.
Yeah.
I don't understand how they didn't see coming that the other Druid guy was going to kill them. I don't know if that was all up. The shadow magic was pretty cool.
That was. I did wish that had been drug out more. Just that Druid, if he had been drug out, you know what? I would have liked it if he had appeared there. They had no run in with him, and he showed up in book 2 and do the shadow magic stuff. That'd have been cool.
But then Larkspur wouldn't have the scythe to kill stuff later. Anyways, but
he could figure that out.
I got tons to say about this, but since we're
gonna keep this under an hour. No one need to hear about this longer than an hour.
I mean, you could read the book.
You can read the book. Good. Yeah.
Well, see, here's the thing: they're not listening to this. They just want to hear us be awesome.
If we get enough demand, we will do another podcast on it. Actually, no, we'll
do one on Bloody Rose.
We'll do one on Bloody Rose.
Oh, yeah.
Please let us know, and we'll do a section in the Bloody Rose talk.
We're doing anyways. Yeah. I'm going to sit down in front of a microphone and talk without you guys if you guys don't show up.
Right. Superfan Tonya, do you have anything else you want to add?
This was real great. That's it.
Good.
This was real great.
Yeah, that's fair. All right, so here's what I want to add at the end of it. I am going to tag Nicholas Eames in this and post about it on Reddit.
Oh Lord!
In hopes that people will check it out. But so here was a quote from him, or not a quote from him, but as a quote about the book. It was done by the Barnes & Noble Sci-Fi and Fantasy blog.
I didn't know that was a thing.
I didn't either, because fuck Barnes & Noble.
I need to look that up.
Fuck that place. Just read Tor.
You're the worst.
Barnes & Noble sucks.
That's not a way to win hearts and minds.
Barnes & Noble. Have you ever tried to buy a book off Barnes & Noble's website?
No, because that sounds ridiculous.
I just go into a Barnes & Noble.
Christ. Where do you go into Barnes & Noble?
Are those all Books A Millions that I've been going into?
Yes, books. I do like Books A Millions.
I used to like Barnes & Noble. You know what?
Are they not the same place?
No.
Well, it's a bookstore. It's a big bookstore.
Oh. For those who are listening to this podcast and not here recording it, she's got a pat on the head. So anyway, here was a quote by them about the book. A comedy, an adventure tale, a consideration on growing older, and a send-up of fantasy conventions all at the same time. It also has heart. In short, it rocks. I finished this book in one night. If I could, I'd see the tour and buy the t-shirt.
Yep.
Instead, I'll have to content myself with waiting for the sequel and reading it again.
Also,
proselytizing? Preaching to the masses!
Alright, so here's my thing. Nicholas Eames, right now, here's my promise to you. I have connections, not a ton, but a decent number of connections in the music scene in the Southeast. These two people here can attest. If you would want to do a book tour that involved bands, like at shows in bars.
Oh, that'd be so rad.
I have connections with T-shirts. We can get the shirts made. We'll get Action Addict Apparel. To do the shirts. I got a hookup. We'll get you the shirts made for cheap. We'll do a tour. I know you're in Canada. Get your passport all set. I'm sure your passport's set up.
I know tons of girls who could be groupies.
Oh, dude! Like I can get you a
hold now.
Right? I can get you a weekend.
My bitches.
A weekend to a week-long tour across the Southeast of doing this, and I will help you book a bar band book tour in the Southeast. And I'm making up
bar band books, beards, booze.
Yeah.
Lots of bees.
A lot of bees. Tons of bees. And I make it like I have connections.
Covered in bees.
Covered in bees. I have connections with other bookers that are outside of the Southeast. We can maybe make this even bigger.
Yes.
Please hit me up.
Heck yeah.
talesbybob.com @gmail.com Facebook Tales by Bob. Anything Tales by Bob, you message it, you'll get me, and I will help you do this.
Be a lot of fun.
It would be a lot of fun. And that way
rad.
people could see the tour and buy the t-shirt.
I
would wear a Kings of the Wild band shirt in a heartbeat. A saga.
They could play the playlist, but as like cover songs and shit.
Yeah. There's some copyright shit, but we can figure this out. I have a master's in music industry and years of experience in booking bands. And have been wanting to do something like this for myself as an author. I'm just not a big enough name. Nicholas Eames, quick aside, my favorite thing I've read of him was...
This book?
He talked about how people come up to him all the time and are like, hey man, when you're a famous author, remember me, or something like that. And his mom said that, and his mom was like, do you know... What he said to his mom was, do you know who Joe Abercrombie is? And she's like, no. He's like, I will never be as famous as Joe Abercrombie.
And you still don't know.
And you still don't. It's like, so whatever. It's like, and she went back to making her cookies or whatever, you know? So it's like, it's one of those, I'm not a big enough name to pull something like this off, but Nicholas Eames, you are intensely popular on Reddit. There is a Montgomery subreddit. There's a Birmingham subreddit. An Atlanta subreddit. We will spread the word. We can make this happen. Hit me up.
Gotcha.
And apparently, Mississippi has a lot of people that read books.
According to our last episode, Mississippi reads a lot of books.
Mississippi can read?
We talked about that. At least 3,500 people in Mississippi can read.
Yep, at least.
Mm-hmm. Which was surprising to us.
That is shocking.
Right.
You'll see.
In Alabama, we have at least 4,000 people who can read. So we were better than Mississippi.
And the three of them that matter are right here.
Bet.
Exactly.
Bet.
All right. So I hope y'all enjoyed this. We had a lot of fun recording this.
And got drunk.
And drunker.
Well,
drunker.
We've been recording
for a minute. We're going to leave out of here and go to a writing group. It's going to be great.
I'm too drunk.
He's too drunk. I'm going to leave out of here and go to a writing group. Yeah, I hope y'all enjoyed this. Please go out, if you haven't read it already, pick up the Nicholas Eames book, Kings of the Wyld. That's Wild with a Y instead of an I.
WYLD.
Yeah, oh, look at you. Is that sultry voice?
I don't do sultry.
Well, you know.
You got as much sultry as I got in me.
We try. She's the voice of our intro. But yeah, so I hope you will check it out. I hope you'll pick up a copy.
Pre-order the sequel. August 28th.
Pointed
look at
you.
Pre-order the sequel.
I will pre-order the sequel.
There's a line on this side of it. We pre-order.
Yeah. We got hype and pre-ordered.
Please, we are, as soon as, I expect within a week, we will probably be recording a second bonus podcast about Bloody Rose.
Well,
a week after the 28th.
A week after? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, a week after the 28th, we'll probably be recording.
Well, we'll be in Dragon Con.
So we will be at Dragon Con. After Dragon Con, I'm sure we'll be doing that.
I ain't doing no reading at Dragon Con.
No. But yeah, so please, if you have any questions about Kings of the Wyld that you would like us to address, hit us up at booksbeardsbooze@gmail.com, or you can message anything Tales by Bob. I'll get it and I'll respond to it. And if it's of note and fun, we will handle it here on the podcast. So as always, we challenge you as you carry on in your week to go forth and grow a great beard.